Khan. All right, Shalom, Shalom, Kal Halal, Wahawad La, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rechaha Kodash. Double honor to the elder apostles of the great millstone GMS who continue to rule well and teach well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the hopeful elect. Abaratazah, Father willing. So, Father willing, this lesson is edifying. And yeah, you know, this lesson is going to be basically on job layoffs, all right? An update on job layoffs, man. Okay, yeah, mass layoffs are coming, all right? And yeah, the down spiral of the kingdom of E is happening, man. Okay, so I got a lot of articles to share with you. All right, here we have one from Manchester Evening News. Slacking for the adverts, that slows up the bleeding tab, the page. All right, just say it anyway. Always has to be here. And this was put up on the 15th of May. So these are recent articles, all right. 2025, all right. Morrison closes last of 17 stores in major chain shake-up, all right. The closure comes as part of a plans to open quote renew and reinvigorate end quote the chain, all right. That's usually the reasons why they have these closures, all right. Morrison's has closed another of its daily convenience stores this week after the supermarket announced last month that it will be closing 17 of its outlets. All right, I won't read the whole article because I've got a lot to get through. It says last month Morrison's shut 16 of its daily convenience stores before closing its final store this week, and that's a supermarket store over here in England, in the UK. The retailer's Haxby convenience store closed for the final time yesterday, on the 14th of May. The closure comes after Morrison's announced earlier this year that it will be closing a number of its cafes, florists, pharmacies, market, kitchens, and convenience stores as part of a major store shake-up. Okay, so moving on to the next one. This was a little further back, a few months back, beginning of the year, January this year. All right, from inews.co.uk. All right, it says up to 10 UK universities could go bust due to risky private teaching deals. All right, so even the education sector is at risk. There's been exponential growth in lucrative but controversial university franchises. Now, as new regulation looms, there are fears some could collapse. All right, UK is in debt, man. All right. As many as 10 British universities are in danger of going bust because of their reliance on risky franchising deals that see courses run and taught by private sector providers, the iPaper has been told. The practice began as a way of extending higher education to hard to reach disadvantaged communities in areas without universities, but lending university brand names to external companies can also be very lucrative, earning cash strapped to universities substantial extra tuition fee income for courses they don't actually teach. And this can be a blessing in disguise, alright? You'd come out with a lot of debt, if you was to, graduate uni, alright, and, not going could save you that, okay? The government announced a franchise and crackdown last month that aims to tackle rogue higher education operators. It is proposing an extra layer of regulation and scrutiny that Education Secretary Bridget Phillipson says is necessary to protect students and safeguard taxpayers' money. Right, the intervention could ultimately stop some of the external providers running the course from operating, but there are fears within higher education that the collapse of franchise courses could also bring down the universities that have lent their name to operations. Yeah, there's that too. Okay. So that's that. And of course you can, read more into that. Alright. And here we have obviously that was from the UK. Here we have restaurants closing down this year. Olive Garden's sister chain abruptly shuts a third of its restaurants from the Daily Mail. Alright. Eater Atlanta, the complete list of Atlanta restaurants closing, May 2025. From Time Out, 31st of January this year, 11 famous London restaurants that closed this month, January 2025 edition. Right. From AL.com, another popular dining chain closing 21 locations, restaurants shutting down this year, man. See, so the Lord is bringing things to a halt. Bahama Breeze abruptly closes 15 restaurants. Alright. So on and so forth. Okay. Even the motor company Nissan is affected too. And this is from AI overview. Now it says Nissan is not closing down entirely, but it's undergoing a significant restructuring plan that includes job cuts and factory closures as part of a broader strategy to improve profitability. So this includes plans to reduce its global manufacturing plants from 17 to 10 by the end of 2027. So job cuts, it plans to cut 11,000 jobs worldwide. All right. It announced a 9,000 job loss in November as well. Factory closes. 7 factories will be closed as part of the cost-cutting measures. All right. Sunderland plant. While the Sunderland plant in the UK is not among those slated for closure, there are ongoing concerns about its future and its role in the company broader restructuring. Financial performance. Nissan has been struggling with poor sales in key markets like China and the US, leading to a net loss of 670 billion yen, which is 3.4 billion with a B, British pounds. Okay, that's that. Birmingham Live. This was put up on the 16th of May this year, 2025. Full list of Iceland stores closing across the UK in June and July. Right, next couple of months, next month and the month after. Right, as we approach summer. Iceland has confirmed the closure of 2 locations in June and July. This is another, you know, like grocery shop. You get like a lot of frozen foods from there as well. Iceland has said these stores closures are part of a strategic review. This is, UK again. And of course it's got the full list. Alright. Margate, Iverness City Centre. Alright. Things like that. And in general, I thought I'd look up mass layoffs in America. Babylon the Great. But, and it says about 260,000 federal workers, most of whom have taken buyouts, have left or will leave by the end of September. And several agencies have been earmarked for deep cuts, such as more than 80,000 jobs at the Department of Veterans Affairs and 10,000 at the Department of Health and Human Services. Wow, that's from Reuters. Okay. MSN Trump's mass layoff threat drives US government workers to resign. Yeah, so there's going to be uproars of the people. Let me look at that. Okay. More protest. Okay. There's already strikes as it is. Trump's mass layoff threat drives US government workers to resign. Just expand the article a bit. Tens of thousands of US government workers have chosen to resign rather than endure what many view as a torturous wait for the Trump administration to carry out its threats to fire them, says union governance experts and employees themselves. Ever since he's been in office, man, early in the year, man, he's just been signing and signing. Okay. He's been ruthless with it too. So yeah, things are getting from bad to worse with Babylon the Great, man. Especially with Nero, who we believe that's who he is in the spirit, Trump, right? Ever since he's been, in the presidential seat, right? And presidents that elected, right? Oh, sorry, the selected, right, from the higher ups. That's what I was meant to say, right? So, voting is basically futile, which you shouldn't be voting as an Israelite anyway, right? Because our king is King David, and above him, Yahushai, Yahweh Shem Yahushai, okay? Right? So it says President Donald Trump signed an executive order on taking office to dramatically slash the size and cost of government. 4 months later, mass layoffs at the largest agencies have yet to materialize and courts have slowed the process. Instead, most of the roughly 260,000 civil servants who have left or will leave by the end of September have taken buyouts or other incentives to quit. Some told Reuters they could no longer live with the daily stress of waiting to be fired after multiple warnings from Trump administration officials that they could lose their jobs in the next wave of layoffs. You see? A lot of them would just rather leave. Yeah. As a result, Trump and tech billionaire Elon Musk, Department of Government Efficiency, have managed to cut nearly 12% of the 2.3 million strong federal civilian workforce, and largely through threats of firings, buyouts, and early retirement offers, a Reuters review of agency departures found. Remember doing a lesson on the federal workforce being cut. Alright. Yeah, so a lot of things are happening, a lot of things are basically, happening for the worst. Alright. That's gonna, cause an uptick in crime. Mental health is gonna increase. People are gonna be more stressed out than ever before. People gonna have to work, which they've been doing anyway, but you know, multiple jobs all at once to keep themselves afloat. All right. Here's another one. Bank branch closes this year. One day ago, Daily Express, full list of Santander banks, NatWest and Lloyds. NatWest banks and Lloyds banks closures in June with 85 branches set to close. So it's gonna increase, man. All right. All 85 UK bank branches shutting in June, including Halifax and Lloyds. And of course, it's going to give you a list of them, a map of where they are in the UK, which ones are closing. All right. Yeah. Getting serious out here now. All right. You see where all this is heading, man. Okay. UK shoe chain closing. Several UK shoe chains are closing stores due to difficult economic conditions. All right. Some companies they can't even like pay the rent where they're situated at as well. Okay. So, including increased national insurance contributions and reduced business rate relief, Shoe Zone, I bought shoes from there a while ago, some years ago, I think back in 2016, and maybe also after that recently. But I know I bought something from there, shoes from there. So it says Shoe Zone has shut down over 30 stores in the past year, and AG Meek is also closing stores citing these economic challenges. Other high street retailers are also facing closures, including WH Smith, Poundland, and Morrison's. Yeah, that we mentioned Morrison's. Okay. Shoe the shoe chain has closed over 30 stores due to factors like increased national insurance contributions and soaring business rates. This Welsh AG Meek, this Welsh shoe retailer, is closing its Albany Road store in Cardiff, Wales, leaving them with only 3 stores in Wales. W.H. Smith, the stationery retailer, is shifting its focus to travel hubs, selling off its high street stores to Modella Capital and rebranding them as T.G. Jones. Many other high street retailers, including Poundland, Morrison's, and various banks like NatWest, like we just read, are also closing stores, and Lloyds Bank as well, due to factors like the rise in online shopping, that's right, and challenging economic conditions, yeah. More people are banking online. That's also what they're pushing for, especially, you know, um, yeah, that's exactly, what the urging their customers to do, bank online, right? And people in general are buying things more online anyway, especially during the L downs, all right? Yeah, because they can get it, you can reserve your things online and therefore, it's guaranteed and you can just purchase it, put it in your basket and then just quickly pay with your card. And you don't have to go in store and deal with, the walking around, maybe bumping into other people and things like that. They'd rather just do that quick, instant, all right, cool, I know what I want, buy it, there you go, ordered, and they know it's they know it's on its way. Okay. Yeah, Poundland closing. Yeah, last one. Poundland is currently owned by Pepco, a Warsaw listed retail giant. I know Warsaw is the capital of Poland. Yeah, and many of its 825 shops are thought to be at risk even if a buyer can be found. The news comes in after the chain's like-for-like sales fell 7.3% in the months leading up to December last year. Yeah, 3 days ago. LBC, which Poundland shops are closing. Poundland is set to be sold for £1, ironically the same price it sells many goods for as the chain struggles on high streets. Well, when you go in there, the price is higher, so gonna give you the full list. Got Liverpool, Wales, Clapham Junction. Right. What's this? Major high street retailer shuts 14 shops in days. Brands including Next and Poundland are all set to call time on branches across the UK. Yeah. So it's over, man. This mirth is ceasing. It comes amid a tricky period for the retail sector with the consumers having less cash in their wallet to spend at tills. Right. What's this put up? Oh, never. updated on the 23rd of May, published on the 21st of May this year. Alright, so so yeah, economically, the Most High Yahweh Shai is physically annihilating, alright, Babylon the Great America, alright. So economically and physically, the Lord is he's judging the world, alright, with tornadoes, fires, earthquakes, and different weather elements and things of that nature, alright. And of course, with all these job cuts, the Lord is doing this, doing it in Babylon the Great America and abroad too, UK and other parts of the world as well. Alright, let's get the book of Proverbs. Proverbs chapter 29 and verse 2 in the New Living Translation. And it reads, when the godly are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked are in power, they groan. Alright? And the wicked is currently ruling Esau Edom, the so-called white man. Okay? And that's beginning with the nobility of E, the Amalekites, man, the JJs, the small hatters, the big nose people. Okay? Oppenheimers, the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, the DuPont, the Gettys. Alright? They run this whole society behind the scenes. Okay? And their strategy is to destroy the economy and bring in, the new world order. Right? And the digital all is all part and parcel with that. Right? Along with digital currency, central bank digital currencies, CBDCs, alright, and what have you. Digital wallet as well. Okay? Because all roads leads to the MOTB, the RFID micro chip. You see? So they want the upper elites want to charagma everybody, chip everyone. Alright? But the Lord will disrupt their efforts. Right? The Lord will disrupt these devils' efforts in establishing, his new world order agenda. Okay? And part of this process as well is they want people to rely more on the government, and they do that by stripping away their jobs, right? Bringing in the social credit system, right? We know automation and artificial intelligence and robots are becoming more and more prevalent, right? So the masses are mourning and complaining because they cannot work, they're stressed, all right? They're go on welfare and things like that, all right? And the average Babylonian just wants to pay the bills, live their life, party, drink, watch bread and circuses, alright, things like that. That's what they want to do. Mind their own. Okay. Let's get the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12. In fact, let's do this. Alright. Ecclesiastes, chapter 12. Alright, in the comment section, in the videos, alright, the videos are the lessons, the comment section, that's all part of the ecclesiastical church where, people, ask questions, so, they can be edified on something, alright? It's like a classroom setting, alright? And of course, the person doing the videos is the teacher, alright? So, there you have it. Ecclesiastes chapter 12, verse 3. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, right? The keepers, the economy watchers. Okay. Fact. Let's get the word. Keepers. Right. Strong's H8104 concordance number. In the Hebrew, I believe it's Shema. Right. It's to keep guard, to observe, give heed. Might be mistaken on that, but I believe it's Shema. It says to keep guard, observe, give heed, to keep, have charge of, to keep guard, watch and watch, protect, serve. Sorry, save life. Watch, a watchman, to watch for, to wait, to observe. Right? To preserve, protect, to keep, reserve, to be on one's guard, take heed, to take care. Beware to keep oneself, refrain, abstain, to be kept, be guarded. Okay? An economist is someone who watches the economy and looks at the trends, all right, the numbers, all right, the graph charts, all right, key indicators and things like that to determine where it's heading. Okay, and right now, you know, the economists are trembling right now because they see where it's heading and it's all heading downhill. All right, these are the economy watchers. Okay, when you get the definition from it from the Merriam-Webster site of economist, okay, it says one who practices economy, a specialist in economics, noun. Right, the etymology of the word, Middle French, econom, right, econom, manager of a household, borrowed from medieval Latin economus, going back to the late Latin administrator manager, borrowed from Greek, or economos, manager of a house, manager of a household, Slovakia, steward. All right. So yeah, and yeah, the work is dwindling, man. It's becoming less and less. All right. So Ecclesiastes 12:3 again. In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, right, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few. Okay. So yeah, it's becoming very limited. All right. People graduate university with so much debt and no jobs to work to pay it off. All right. Or if they manage to get a job, it's not paying enough. Okay. And those that look out the windows be darkened, yeah, 'cause it's a dark future. All right. And the doors shall be shut in the streets. Okay. When the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. See? So yeah, these businesses will be closed down, right? Especially the mom and pop stores, right? All right. And that happened a lot, in the year 2020 when you had the Crown L down, right? And even after that, a lot of them, shops started, closing down, so people lost their jobs, buildings were boarded up, right? People having to go on welfare or had, financial support from the government, support programs like that from the government, to help their situation. And worse is yet to come, man. Okay? People rise up early in the morning people rise up early in the morning hearing the voice of the birds, with no job to go to. They'll be there early filling in applications to try and get ahead of the game. All right? The doors of music shall be brought low. Yeah, the music and entertainment is low, man. You know, or whatever they call music nowadays anyway. Sounds like a bunch of demonic sounds to me. All right? If you ask me. All right? The lyrics are trash too. All right? Yeah. Let's go to the book of Second Esdras, chapter 16. And this is in the New Revised Standard Version. All right? Second Esdras, chapter 16, starting at verse 37, reading on to verse 43. All right? And it reads, the calamities draw near and are not delayed. All right? Verse 38, just as a pregnant woman in the ninth month, when the time of her delivery draws near, has great pains around her womb for 2 or 3 hours beforehand, but when the child comes forth from the womb, there will not be a moment's delay. Right? And the Lord is bringing these plagues, pestilences, diseases, famines, right? Loss of jobs as well. Evil times is what we're in, right? Wars and rumors of wars. Okay, division amongst people, right? All this builds up and continues to increase. Okay, right? So just before a baby is born, the pains grow more severe and just gets worse, right? And obviously, any woman that's had a baby knows this firsthand from experience, of course. Those pains, they don't slack. Verse 39. So the calamities will not delay. Sure. So the calamities will not delay in coming upon the earth, and the world will groan, and pains will seize it on every side. Right? Just like the plagues happening in this world, right? You can't stop it, you can't avoid it, right? As we draw closer to the end of this man's kingdom, right? Through measuring the times diligently in itself, we know we're close to the final moments of America being completely annihilated by nuclear fire, man, along with the high concentrated laser beams coming from the chariots of the Lord. Okay, see, the world mourns because the wicked is in rulership, right? And of course, only the elect will, escape these plagues. The elect of the nation of Israel, all right? People struggling to make ends meet, having to work multiple jobs, still employed after graduating university with these degrees, bachelor's, master's, doctorates. All right, yeah. And a lot of these people are part of the middle class too, which that's been eradicated as well. All right, that's the backbone of an economy, the middle class. Okay, they spend the most. Verse 40: Hear my words, O my people, prepare for battle, and in the midst of the calamities be like strangers on the earth. See, we're in a spiritual battle, man. Okay, yeah, we ought to be like pilgrims, all right, on the earth, man. A pilgrim is constantly on the move, focusing on the end goal, all right, which is the Holy Land. That's the mindset we ought to have and keep, all right. Think as a pilgrim thinks, be on the move and not be attached to the things of this world and be comfortable, therein. Let go of the cares and affairs of this world, man. Okay, because our main goal is salvation. Okay, everything here is temporary. Okay, verse 41. Let the one who sells be like one who will flee. Let the one who buys be like one who will lose. So at some point in time, you won't get the benefit of that investment you made, or even enjoy that purchase. All right, you could probably do it now, but soon, you got to think and be like, hey, this is what happened. This I might not get, I might not reap the benefits of that investment that I made. Okay, so you got to, have that mindset as well. Verse 42: Let the one who does business be like one who will not make a profit, and let the one who builds a house be like one who will not live in it. Looking for that flip, right? Invest in and sell your goods, your merchandise. Operate a business. All right. Okay. So again, you got to have that mindset. And you got people who are looking to build their homes, thinking they'll be able to retire, in their retirement home, man. And it's going to come a point where all that will finish. It'll all come to an end because the Most High is pulling the plug on this place, man. All right. So you got to, think, hey, the one who does business, at some point you might not even make that profit. All right. You might not be able to own that home. Okay. Verse 43. Let the one who sows be like one who will not reap. So also the one who prunes the vines like one who will not gather the grapes. Why? Again, the Lord is bringing things to a halt, right? And these people are miserable out here, man. Just look at the countenance on their faces and how they conduct themselves, how they move, right? And things of that nature. Yeah. So again, everything is coming to a screeching halt, man. All right. So yeah. End the lesson there. Lord willing, this was edifying. Okay. With that, I'm gonna say Kal Halal Yahaba Shim Shai. Abad Babal, man. Mawasla Babal. Okay. And Shalom to the elect. Lord willing, I'll see you on the next show, man.